for smarter living. Smarter metering for smarter living. Smarter metering for smarter living. Smarter metering for smarter living.
At First National Bank, we believe being first means putting you first. Your first home, we've got the mortgage. Starting your first business, count on our commercial loans. Dreaming of your first car? Drive it home today. Heading to college? Let's fund that first big step with a student loan. No matter the milestone, make First National Bank your first choice for all your loan needs. First in service, first in trust, first for you. Call us at 456-1501 or visit us in Heritage Square so we can help put you first. First National Bank, here for you.
WEFM, the new fresh sound.
WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
And the time right now, Fiji, it is 8:17, and we are back with you for another segment of our Activated Mornings program here on WEFM. All right, so I see that Joshua is calling. All right, so let me take the call, and then we will get into our 17 and we are topic. Morning, Joshua.
Yes.
Morning.
Good morning, all. And again, Mr. Compton has come up with a winner. You know, I did some training in crisis response, and I was really saddened because there is an old saying, like father, like son, like mother, like daughter. I remember the guy, the tongue drunk, a gambler. Everybody was afraid of the guy. And this young boy committed a crime. So the family asked me to go to court with him. As he stood before the judge listened to him, and the judge asked, well, you're so young. A teen, you're only in your 20s. Why? He said, Your Honor, I looked at my dad. Now, his twin brother was on, and he asked him to speak. The judge looked at him, and the judge said, you are a pastor. And look at this guy. I mean, your brother, he's a reprobate. What's the difference? What made the difference? He said, Your Honor, I looked at my father. Now, this is a judge, and he was confounded. He said, what? You look at your father, he looked at your father, and you both turned out to be different? The pastor said, Your Honor, I resolved in my mind that I was not going to walk in my father's footstep. So again, I want to commend Life very highly. I spoke with him briefly for about 5 seconds or so, and he brings a lot to the table. And it's not an easy thing. And I'll just share this one last thing. I remember once in training in role play, we had about six kids, and we all gave them a doll, a doll baby. And we observed them from behind a glass door. And some of the kids, slap the doll babies about and toss them across the room. And there was this one little girl, she held her doll close to her chest, and she cried, and she started to sing this, hush, little bee, don't you cry. And what we saw, these kids, and they were all under 10 years old, they were playing out what they saw at home. So as parents, we have to be very careful. And I have to speak to myself as well, because I used to do a lot of stupid things, and then my son would follow me, would repeat the things that I say, not profanity, but the things that I say. And my dear wife had to pull me up. She said, you see, your son is watching you. So this morning, everybody, I appeal to you, fathers, mothers, caregivers, our little ones are watching us. Adults create, children imitate. Have a blessed day, everyone.
All right. Thanks very much. All right. Now, with that imitation topic, we actually had something else to talk about, but I think we put off for another day. I think Joshua would just might call back and echo that same thought again. So, yeah. All right. So, we're going to get into this topic, right? So, I'm asking, or we are asking the question: do those who live overseas, as in you primarily live overseas, do you or should you have a right to vote in our local elections, right? Now, this came about yesterday. Yesterday, a previous customer of mine called. Well, I know that they live in overseas, and well, we went through the conversation, etc. And because now it's November, and because now we're in too far from the 27th, I'm like, oh, so you come home to vote. So he said, no, that is for people like you. So I was a little bit taken aback when he said it's people like you, because I'm saying, but you're Vincentian, right? Mm-hmm. And I know that you are generally, you generally come home occasionally. You don't permanently live here, but you come home, you visit. And why would you say it's predominantly for people like me? So he said it's because of the fact that I live here permanently. His opinion is that the best persons who should have a say in how the country goes in terms of who is elected into office should be the persons who live here. Now, mind you, so let me just put this into context as well, right? This is for persons who are registered to vote. Their name is actually on the voters list, and they just happen to be living overseas. But we know that there are several instances where some of them, they come home occasionally, maybe once, maybe twice a year. Some of these persons are, let's say, contributing to our society in one way or the other. They might be paying property tax. Whenever, let's say, there are relief efforts or whatever that is being done, they contribute in that way, organize several fundraisers, etc., for the community. In different ways, they are involved in the development of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So I'm asking the question, and I know Kojo raised it a Sunday on Issue at Hand, where he was also saying, Kojo, you wake up yet morning? He was saying that because there are some persons who reside overseas who are making their contributions directly or indirectly to SVG, and their names are still on the voters list, that they should have that right to come home and vote. So what do you think?
Well, some persons at the priority of people living abroad are different than those who are living in the country. So with that, they may not necessarily, it may not necessarily be okay for them to vote in the country. They also don't share the day of people in the country. If you left the country, why do you want to come back to vote? Or why should you have a say? Why do you want to have a say? You left. And then of course there is that argument. I'll stick a pin and take this call. Hi, caller. Good morning. Looks like Joshua.
Hi, it's me again. I have to get in on this one, and I shall say no more because it's my date. Now, except for students, none of us who live abroad should have the right to vote. We should not be the ones to determine the destiny of intentions. Yes, we could have our say like I did. I come on and rant, but we should not be allowed to vote. Let that be, as Roleza said, for the people who live there, light your own fire stick. Have a great day.
All right. Thanks, Joshua.
Right. So I can't remember the last thing I was saying, but some persons also say, well, some people are living outside of their country because they've been forced to live outside of their country. So they should probably still have a say, because it's not like they don't want to be home, but some stuff and the services to keep them living, for as long as possible or as healthy as possible isn't available in the country. So they have an excuse to be abroad,
Stick up it and write it down to get back to it.
So they should probably stick.
Dave, good morning.
Hello?
Morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. Interesting conversations being being heard this morning. I want to what children see or what they live through, it will have either negative or positive, mindset for some of them. But what I've observed, maybe we should have elections more often than we have it. Because I'm so happy, I'm so pleased. I should say, to hear you see here this that goes on in St. Vincent and Grenadines. I'm happy that people are exposing, whether you're in government or you're just an ordinary citizen, some of the things that are being revealed now. Because some of us would like to see these things disappear or taken care of, some of our shortcomings. But I wonder if that could ever happen in a little 2x2 place like St. Vincent and Grenadines. And the way we have been indoctrinated with our own brand of politics from the so-called, from politicians who want to be in office to administer our country. Yes, and the last thing, remind me, the last thing you come up there with,
the right to vote, those who live overseas.
Oh yeah, the right to vote and so on. I do agree that nobody who has left this country for umpteen amount of years and so on, maybe if you're just going to come back, like on a holiday or something, nothing, fine. But you leave this country, you're gone elsewhere. I am not criticizing you, I'm not criticizing you for doing that. Because you see, some of us go to greener pastures, although sometimes the pastures are not green as we like to think. But so I don't think I don't. I mean, and it takes a lot. It takes to monitor that, and then we don't have all these equipped personnel out there to monitor and what election.
But remember in this case, though, Dave, it's not so much a matter of monitoring, because once the name is on the voters list, they could vote. I suppose the only thing is if they've been
according to St. Vincent and Grenadines, policy or law, whatever you want to call it, and that sometimes is amazing to me. Although I attend the voting, some people are away for some, and the name is still on the. Do you think that should happen? No. I wonder how long some people name are on the list, having left St. Vincent and Grenadines. I wonder how long, maybe. I wonder if we have it as long as 20 years. People left the country 20 years should come back and just walk into a polling booth and have access or have the right to vote. Do you think that should be allowed?
Well,
you don't know what's going on.
Oh, good.
You don't know what's going on in the country. You don't know.
Dave, let me comment on that part there. Sometimes the people living abroad know more about what's going on in the country than the people living in the country. Sometimes they keep up to date.
You would hear. Well, yeah, and that's according to how much you are interested in your country. Yeah, but how many of us are like that? I hear you. I hear that saying. I'm aware of that. I've been around for a long time, so I know somebody talk and so on. Anyhow, I want to shout out my favorite boy there, Leroy. Leroy, I want you to give me a call. Well, Roleza will know who is Leroy, because I want to know how much influence, if you have any influence on Roleza. All right?
Hello? Why you want to know?
Well, father and daughter, because I
only saying that
who used to.
Yeah.
Huh?
I'm only saying that.
Yeah, okay. I can't talk about him mother, because your mother was not ever not involved, but Leroy has been involved. He used to try to convince me. He used to have all arguments and so on. And I'm surprised he never come and give me a look up. So Leroy, I am sending out this invitation. Give me a call or something. Let me hear how you're thinking, if you're proud of your daughter and what she's doing, what she's saying on radio, or you're still trying to convince her that red, or you're dead.
Dave,
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right. All right. You were saying, Dianna? Oh, we have a call. Hi, caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Roleza and Dianna.
Good morning, Stephen.
Yes, man. Morning. Well, I your father. I could say you're doing a good work.
Thank you, Stephen.
Good work on the radio. You're sensible, you're smart, you're intelligent, you're elegant, you're all kind of things. But one thing you're missing.
Let me hear.
You got to put the father in front.
Okay.
I know. I could say you're missing that because I don't know your heart and how you're moving. But for somebody to be so sensible and elegant and all this kind of thing, you have to have some kind of good spirit with you.
Yes.
And the next lady did too.
Yes, the Lord is with us.
Girls and them. So forgive me for judging all you. But ladies, what I want to say, Dave Robert, let me tell you something. Where Richard was saying it's so true. Whether you live overseas for 100 years or what, you come back, you're voting, you know you're going to vote, but you know who to vote for. And people overseas more informed than us. Even if you're informed and you intend to go vote, you must have some kind of idea, or some kind of way you're thinking. There's no excuse at all when you live overseas. No excuse at all, and that's fraud in electronic thing. Wait, that's a total fraud to me. People should vote in. Once you have intention, come and vote. All right. Without a mama. Okay. Next thing again, I want to say that is why you say why no? All that talking was saying why no? That the government bring position, Mr. Friday and Chris Bramlow. No, that is a little unfair talk because you hear that bamboozling. Well, you say so really certain things all the time, but there's something that bamboozling for years. Friday, say the citizenship in the front pocket, and he has children to passport in the back pocket. And you mustn't hear that either, but by law, no man take Vincent. Unless you want to outsmart somebody, you have a citizen, you have you tell you to the next country, and you ain't give up that. That means that's some kind of rascalness. What you're somebody that you can't trust and everything like that. So all that goes into your curriculum to see well how you're thinking and how you're moving and everything.
But Stephen, you understand why I asked why not, right? Because it's been at least 5 years. And how much effort was put into trying to get this matter resolved before this election or even the results of the elections?
I understand we're saying in a sense, but why now? But you mean why now they bring up they go to court? But there was aware. Well, that was bringing up a long time.
Story, but actually taking steps. You see,
I was hearing that.
Yes,
so that. 2005, I hearing that.
So, Stephen, how long ago was 2005?
Attest to that.
How long ago was 2005?
That bring that up when you and started many years ago, and talk about this citizenship thing. So why now? Well, if you want to say, well, okay, the government feel that Friday going to win, and why now? But let me tell you something. The government have the confidence that they're going to win and we'll see. There is the confidence the government have. They know that they have a vote. I myself could attest that among the people that I know coming on who was NDP. I know the government going to win bigger. Down in Carlos, down there, Carlos, where they say I one vote. A man have one vote, win by one vote. and now we're in government, he might win about 100 votes. And people say, oh, you man vote and you're going to lose. That is the thinking of people. But why now? Whether now or later? Mr. Friday really, if he have patriotic intention, if he honestly people, if he honestly self, he will know that Cameroon and renounce the citizenship. Because they're going to run. So what you should ask, as a man, as a leader, I want to be a leader of a country. This is something real serious.
Okay, all right.
And if you understand people, you should have reduced that long time. You're not
right.
in Jamaica.
All right, Stephen. Okay, so we could probably Stephen, we're going to want to try to wrap up this particular topic, the topic that we started. So if there's anything else you want to bring up, we'll bring it up in the next segment, right? Because we do talk to us then. Okay?
All right, my lady.
All right, have a good one.
I hope that believe about tell it's leader what's going on.
All right, Stephen. All right, Dianna.
I think that was about it. The final thing that I wanted just to add was persons also claim that remittances contribute to the GDP. So, that means that they should have a chance to vote. I somebody on the WhatsApp here vote because there are other countries that do that.
Okay. All right. So I see somebody was trying to call. So let me take the call. Hi, caller. Good morning.
Yes, I know you're at that time. But I don't want to put in my oversee to come and vote because they don't live in St. Vincent. Even they have Vincentian. Quickly, I will try to talk fast. Quickly, I was a Vincentian. I am a Vincentian, born in Kingston. Live overseas for 40-something years. Going back home, coming back and going back, okay? And my point of view, being out there is different. And I will decide who to vote and who not to vote when I was out there, okay? But after I came here now for 3 years, it will be different. Because I live here now, and I see what's going on, and I see what's taking place. So therefore, I will vote on what? Because I in the mid. And so that is my point, and I want to say that they said that where you are living, for you to able to vote or for you to get an ID, you have to live in an area for 6 months, right?
Correct, yes.
To get an ID. And that ID will cause you to go and get your to register, right? I came here to get my ID while I was living overseas. And they told me no. I went to the place as I come to get a Vincentian ID. They said I'm not in the country for 6 months. I don't live here for 6 months. And I live in no area for 6 months. And they can't give me the ID. So I believe that if you ain't get ID in 6 months, in the place, they should not be coming to vote because when they go and put in anybody and things ain't go right, they up there enjoying the good life, and we Vincentian down here have to pay the consequence. So that is my point. I want to say.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I believe so.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks for your contribution. Anything final?
Nah, that was it there.
All right. So I just wanted to add this final thing to the discussion, right? I kind of think that I don't have a fixed opinion on the topic. And one of the other reasons would be this, right? There are many persons who leave SVG to have a better life, right? In their more youthful days, their more youthful years, they leave so that they'd be able to acquire the things that they want to acquire. Many of these persons come back home and retire. Many of these persons, while they're overseas, they build a house here because they know at some point, yes, they may have left, but they are planning to return. Now, when they return, they are going to be living in a society amongst us, and they are going to have to adhere to whatever policies, etc., were put in place by whichever administration, right? So in a sense, some of those persons who, if they do choose to come home and vote, they might be thinking long term in terms of, so if I vote for this particular party and this particular administration forms government, that maybe the long-term policies that they have are going to then be of benefit to me in my older age. Or it's a case where maybe, let's say, they have children and the children decide to live here in SVG instead, that these policies are going to benefit them. So again, I think it's going to be one of those conversations where maybe you can pick a side or you can't, but it's one of the other things to throw into the mix where, yes, amongst the other things that we said in terms of them making contributions at whatever points or in whichever ways, but many of them are actually going to have SVG be their returning place of a board when they get older. So that was our discussion this morning, folks. The topic was, do those who live overseas primarily, do they or should they have a right to vote in local elections?